Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the final day in this vlogging series here on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the other 4 videos in this little series, make sure that you either check them out before or after you watch this one. I've shared pretty much as much advice as I could fit into 5 different videos. I'm really hoping that you guys enjoyed it, that you found this valuable. Like I mentioned already, I absolutely love sharing my life here on YouTube with you guys. I love sharing vlogs and just mommy content and showing you guys what I'm up to with Riley. I also really wanted to show you guys this part of my life and just show you guys how I make money for my family through blogging. So today we're just gonna wrap up the series with a quick little video. I know that the other videos have been super long, but I just wanted to share some basic advice with you guys. Basic advice for newbie bloggers, content creators, people who are looking to establish themselves in the online world. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Yes, this is my cat. I guess he has decided to join our video. He's a little bit sick, so I'm being extra nice to him. All right, so the first piece of advice is gonna sound super corny, super basic, but the first thing I need to say is you need to get started. So if you are thinking about doing this, if this is something that you're interested in doing, you need to start. I know that there are so many people out there who have amazing ideas and they wanna do so many awesome things, and yet they end up not doing it because they feel like it's not the right moment, or they're super perfectionist and everything has to be perfect before they actually launch. And I understand that you want for things to look pretty, and I understand that you want things to be picture perfect. Believe me, I've been doing this for 7 years, and the reason why I have been able to continue doing this for that long is because I accept that nothing is gonna be absolutely perfect right away, that it is a continuous process of learning and improving. If I had waited for a perfect moment to start a YouTube channel or to start my blog, if I had waited till I had, 10 free hours a day to focus on my channel, or if I had the perfect equipment, or if I had Final Cut Pro, or if I had a professional camera, if I had waited for all those things, I would never be filming this video right now. I would have given up ages ago. And then if you already have a blog, if you've already taken that step and you've gotten started, continue. I read a figure the other day in a blog post, and I'll have to see if I can find it. The percentage of people who start blogs and then just stop within the first year. And it was amazing how many content creators, they just don't give it enough time. I know that we want to start YouTube channels and we want to start blogs and we want to start making money right away and we want to see results, but it takes time. So just the fact that you are continuing to put yourself out there every single day, that is still 1 day longer than a lot of people who decide to just give up. So I know it sounds corny, I know it's super cliche or whatever, but get started, and then once you have, just keep going. Then the next piece of advice is one of the things that I think will always stick with me, because I thought it was such a great metaphor, and it was something that I listened to and picked up from Jade Derma. I don't know if I'm saying her last name correctly, but she has a YouTube channel here and I will link it down below. But it was a video that I was listening to and she was giving some advice for content creators. And one of the things that she was saying was how important it is to, at the very beginning, to niche down. And I have seriously been the biggest proponent of I'm a lifestyle channel, I'm a lifestyle blog. I like to write about a lot of different things, and I'm always gonna continue to do that. I don't think it's possible for me to niche down. That's just not what I wanna do. But at the very beginning, had I listened to this advice at the very beginning when I was starting my blog, I would have grown a lot faster. So I do think that there's value in this. So just hear me out. So she talks about how you should just niche down at the very beginning. Pick 1 or 2 things that you want to talk about and just go after that audience, go after those topics. And here's why. So this is a metaphor that she gives. She says, picture that you're trying to boil a pot of water. So if you have a tiny pot of water and you put that on the stove, it's going to boil, and it's going to boil a lot faster than if you have a giant pot of water and you're putting that on the stovetop, because there's a lot more water in that pot, and so it takes longer to boil. And so she relates that whole process of boiling to your content going viral or your content gaining traction. It's gonna be a lot easier for your content to gain traction when you're catering to one specific audience, especially at the beginning, versus when you're trying to capture the attention of so many different people. I think that that's really good advice. So I always consider that the water in the pot analogy, and I think that it's genius. So again, I'm gonna leave Jade's video or her channel down below. Another thing that I highly recommend is to get yourself a dedicated notebook. So get yourself a dedicated, either a planner or a notebook, but somewhere that is specifically for your blog or your YouTube channel, something that's a part from everything else. I think that it's important for you to have this little notebook, this little journal that you can stick in your purse, you can take with you wherever you go, so that the minute that inspiration strikes you, you can take it out, you can write down ideas. I am the kind of person, I have like 500,000 notebooks, and I have so many notebooks filled with ideas that I have just gathered throughout the years, because I do that. Like I put a journal, a notebook in my purse, and I take it with me everywhere I go, because like one of my biggest fears is to like have this idea, have an idea for a blog post, have an idea for a video, and then because I'm not quick enough to like write it down, then it just dies. So get yourself organized, get yourself a dedicated notebook, and I promise you that it's gonna be a lot easier later on when you sit down in front of your computer and you're like, okay, I need to write a blog post, or I need to film a video today, what do I wanna write about? Another thing I recommend is to batch your content. I kind of touched on this a little bit in the Q&A that I did, but I think it's always really helpful to have content that's already ready to go, as opposed to you feeling like this pressure to create content in real time. Like with my YouTube channel, I have videos that I have shot like 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, and they're just kind of sitting there waiting to be edited. Like I never experienced that anxiety where I'm like, oh my God, it's Monday tomorrow and I don't have a video and I don't know what I'm gonna post, and then my subscribers are gonna unsubscribe because I don't have content. I never feel that because I always have like content waiting to be edited. Same thing with blog posts. If you can get to the point where you have 2 or 3 blog posts like in your queue and ready to edit, ready to publish, I think that that just gives you that peace that you need so you don't feel stressed all the time. So whenever you're feeling like inspired, whenever you're like really in a creative mood and you're ready to like write some blog posts, sit down and see if you can do like 2 or 3 blog posts instead of just writing 1. Or the same thing with filming videos. Like if you can get to the point where you're having a really great day, your hair looks great, you're feeling great, sit down and try to film a couple of videos instead of having to do them like every single day. The next piece of advice that I have for you guys is to educate yourself. If you're serious about this, if this is a passion of yours, blogging, video creation, whatever it is, I think that you need to spend some time outside of just creating the content, and you need to educate yourself through podcasts, through books, through reading articles, through taking courses. I think that that's like the single best way that you can use your time. I know it's super fun to watch other YouTube videos and to get inspiration from other creators. I get it, I do it all the time, but I really try to find a balance between watching other YouTubers that I like and I enjoy and that I can put on the TV while I'm eating lunch and just like relaxing, with also taking in educational content, listening to channels that are all about YouTube growth, listening to podcasts that are all about the influencer space. So like one of my favorites is the Swipe Up podcast by Slightly Savvy. She's great. Catherine like kills it. She like has so many awesome tips for bloggers, for YouTubers. I also love Sam Brown from the Perfectionist Project. So both of those I'm gonna leave down below. Another one that I listen to all the time is Sunny Lenarduzzi. I think that's how you say her last name, but she has some great like YouTube tips and things like that. So try to make sure that you're seeking out content that's gonna help better your craft. There's also a couple books that I highly recommend that I'll leave down below. But in addition to that, like when you get to the point where you're really ready to take your content creation to the next level, I think that one of the best ways that you can spend your money is through courses. And I'm not just saying that because I have a course, because I've told you guys before, I have a blogging course, Side Hobby to Side Hustle, and it's all about helping your blog get to that next level. I get it, I love it, I would love it if you would enroll. Like there's no shame in that. I created that course to help you guys. So if I can help you guys and get some money by doing that, like there's no shame in that game. But I'm telling you that specifically because I have seen that from my own business. This past year I spent $400 on a blogging course, and I feel like that was some of the best $400 that I have ever spent in my blogging business. I had seen that course promoted multiple times, and there were so many times when I was like, oh my God, that's way too much money. I don't have that money. There's no way that I'm gonna spend $400 on that. And then finally I got to a point where I was like, listen, I need to invest in myself. If I wanna get to that next level, I need to really dedicate some time, some energy, and then have some kind of financial like tie, like holding me responsible for really taking action on these things. So I did that course, and it was, like I said, like some of the best money that I have ever spent. But if you're not there yet, if your budget doesn't allow it, I get it. There's so much free information out there that you can totally just dive into, but just make sure you're doing something to educate yourself. And then the last thing that I'm gonna mention today is the importance of tracking your stats. So I live by the mentality that whatever you track grows, whether that's your income, whether that's your Instagram followers, your page views. You want to make sure that you are constantly keeping your eyeballs on those numbers. And that's not to say that just everything is about numbers, but if you really want to make sure that you are making progress, you need to be analyzing your stats, analyzing your page views, your watch time, figuring out what kind of content is performing better. And so I find that it's super helpful at least once a month to take a look at that. It's one of the things that I teach my students inside of my course. I think it's that important. Make sure that you have some kind of like an Excel spreadsheet or something that you're using to analyze your performance, you know, from the previous month versus today. I tell you guys all the time, I don't think that you need to be comparing yourself to other people. I don't think you need to be comparing yourself to what other content creators are doing, but I do think that you need to compare yourself to where you were yesterday. And so that's one of the best things that you can do if you're trying to grow an online business, is to dedicate some time to look and see how you're doing, and then that way you can make improvements for the next month. All right, you guys, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this little advice session. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to this blogging series. Any other questions you have, make sure to leave them down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.